Does anybody have any strong feelings in favor of the idea of just high sec? I didn't think so. All right, that just wanted to bring that up.
Can I shift the question a little bit? So, what about a change that would be in order to declare war, you have to have a structure in high sec, limited. So the idea right now is technically you could anchor a structure in a C1 and still War Dec, and effectively your structure would be near impossible to find.
Well, that's a good question. I think one of the things that I thought was a problem with the way that CCP rolled out the structure changes was it sounded to me like that they were putting in some idea of if you want to turn the war off, go kill the other guy's structure. And I don't think that was ever really the philosophy, because for a lot of these groups, that have structures, you're not going to be able to kill all their stuff. I mean, they've got too much stuff, and trying to find once you find everything, even if you were able to find anything, it's going to take you more than 7 days or more to kill every structure. So why go that route? Um,
I
that was
also
kind of my philosophy about it.
I also disagree with that because the thing is, okay, let's take a war. For example, we as a pirate alliance, we are fighting with I don't know, Gunswarm Federation or Gunswarm Alliance, whatever you name it. So we are fighting with them. Okay, the point is that we can hit them pretty hard in the high sec area, but the point is that we never ever have any chance to go to any of these structures which are located somewhere in null sec or low sec or wormhole sec or whatever we are. So that is why I think there's just no need. Just the structure, and you become available for war. So no matter where the structure is, and that's it. So I don't feel any need to change that. Because as I said, that if you're talking about two mining corporation, two small mining corporation fighting to each other and trying to destroy one citadel from everybody's side, then yeah, that can work. But the thing is that if we are fighting with, I don't know, gun swarms, we're not fighting because of any of their structure, and they are not fighting with us because of any of our structures. It's just a contract, it's just a nice target, it's just a nice time, and that's it.
Got it. I want to keep moving on because we're about half over now. Question number 4. I think we hit number 2 and number 3. We're kind of tied together. That I probably should have worded those questions better because I think we went through both of those. What stuff do you not want them to do? What would be like a list of things that you think would be absolutely horrible if they were to implement that you've heard from folks or that you just don't
Uh,
want them?
let me say, I'm talking too much today, but I believe you can forgive me for that. So that they definitely not have to do is some idea of having like a war goals or something. As I said, that if you're talking about two small corporations fighting to each other, you can put a goal list or something like kill 1 billion ships or I don't know, destroy this structure or something. But if you're talking about us, like we are massively, we are having like more than 100 War Decs, we're not able to see have we fulfilled the goal or not, or I think it's not a good idea. And another idea is that someone here mentioned also the idea of like war headquarter or something. One more time, if you have like a war between one corporation and another corporation, we can fight and we can look for some headquarters or something. But if you have like a pirate alliance with like 100 wars or something, and half of them are for some major nullsec alliances, so that will just, I don't know, each of these alliances can have a war operation against us, and they can easily like remove this headquarter from the galaxy. And that is why if you're gonna bring this idea that will definitely destroy a pirate alliance, a mermaid alliance, whatever which alliance from the map of the universe, so it's not a good idea at all.
What else do you guys think? Well, other folks that you don't things you do not want to see.
I mean, I personally don't want to see like Sov Light or like any kind of nullsec. Like you have to go shoot a or entosis some bullshit. Like that's just dumb. Like if I wanted to do that, I would go to nullsec. And that's like what I seem to see everybody's suggestions around like objectives and these kinds of things is it's like, oh, how can we mimic what we do in null and make it in part of high sec? And it's like, well, if I wanted to do that, I would just go to null.
Yeah, I hear that a
I
lot.
wonder if those people who suggest Intosia in Isaac, have you ever bothered with Entosis and Null? Was
I,
it
I
War
don't
Dec?
know because if they did, they sure as hell wouldn't be inflicting that on anybody else. Frank, that's
I,
the
I mean,
I
that
hate
comment also
Intosa
kind of
stuff.
goes with more of the more like stricter, like goal oriented types of things too. Like, I think that one of the funnest things for me when I started playing was there wasn't so many of these like mechanically restricted goals, and it was kind of like there was this vibrant merc community that was really cool, and it was kind of like self-organized and people did these things because they were fun, and now they're just taking away more and more avenues to have the fun, and it's like, oh, now there's just like this, you have to go into this framework of like how do you play, and you have to follow all these rules, and it's like less fun for people. So I think that's why it's like less, and then you get just these big groups like Pirate who just decks everybody, and then people complain because they can't beat, like a huge group of people.
I think a lot of the suggestions that you're against are basically based upon a lot of war decks go for way more, way long times. Like I think one group was saying like 6 months. So it's just continuous, and that group pretty much quit. Uh, so I think a lot of the suggestions that are coming out from the anti is to prevent continuous war decks. So forcing some sort of conclusion to it.
And
But
I
if
think
you
that
have,
that's kind of the role that at least I saw. I am a proponent, and I'll be honest. I'm a proponent of the war goals idea, and what I would say, giving both sides an objective that can be met. That's not simply we're going to fight until we don't feel like fighting anymore, or conquer it invalidates the. I think that gives the guy who's being attacked at least some idea. All right, if I meet this goal, then I can turn the war off, and it also gives the guys who are decking, they can decide what they want their goal to be. And what I was thinking would be that there would be a listing of things for both sides that both sides could choose as what they want their goal to be, and it could be a number of ships killed, it could be ISK level of ISK killed, it could be a structure that's destroyed, or something along those lines. But both sides get to pick what they want their goal to be, and then they work toward that goal. And then one side wins, one side loses, and perhaps, and one of the things that I also think would be a good idea would be something along the lines of putting in a a war bond kind of thing. I know some of my predecessors on the CSM have thought about that. Whoever wins gets the money, like the cost of whatever the war was. Whoever wins gets that cash, so that there's some incentive to fight back and maybe win. That was my idea, and yeah, man, I see some people just want to have fun. I think yeah, absolutely, having fun is important, and I think for the aggressors, having fun is critical. But if you're the guy getting decked, what's the fun in not being able to fight back? If you have a goal, that makes it a little more fun to try to aim toward. That's my philosophy about it. I don't want to push that on you guys, but that's how something that I think would be useful. I know it's probably not that popular, but I want to be honest with you.
If you don't mind, I'll have some feedback from you from,
No,
from the
sure, go
aggressor
ahead.
sides. So the thing is that, as I said, like the more like difficult rules you put, and that's gonna be the harder to follow those rules, you know. And another thing is if you will create something like a war goals or something or it will be really hard to implement. And another thing is, as you said, if you are big worded by a pirate alliance, for example, you always can talk to us. We have our diplomatic lists it's a description of our alliance, and then you can contact us and you can ask, hey guys, I'm being worded. So what's the reason is? And usually, if I'm online, I'm answering saying like, okay, you can pay us money or we're going to remove your structure or something. So there, or you can decide that you are warded by the pirate, you can hire another mercs to fight with us or to defend your structure or doing something. The thing which I like about Eve, it's not about the rules, but it's about the players, like in real life. There are no like strict laws, but all the laws, all the game mechanic is like driven by the players, not by the rules. And this is like a good thing, which I really like about Eve. But if you just create something like an achievement, like I don't like any achievement in the games. Like I don't know, in the World of Warcraft or something, saying, "Hey, kill 100 enemy ships, otherwise you're gonna be losing the war." That's not good, just use your mind, use your diplomacy. There are like many reasons or many